Hi guys, so this is the second part of chapter 9 which will be in chapter 15 in your textbooks, okay? I'm going to explain to you more about advertising and also public relations. These are the learning objectives for this particular part, which is to define the role of advertising in promotion mix, describe major decisions involved in developing an advertising program, and then we're going to go to the public relations, okay, define the role of PR, public relation is PR, yeah, in the promotion mix, and also explain how companies can use PR to communicate with their publics. So let's look at the first learning objective, defining the role of advertising in the promotion mix. Like I have mentioned to you previously in the first part of this chapter, advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services that can be identified by a sponsor. Okay, so this particular picture shows that Gecko is the one who actually sponsored for the advertisement. Sponsor means paid for, yeah. That means perhaps Gecko is not the one who actually create this particular Gecko lah. Okay, but then Gecko company is the one who actually pay or sponsor for the design of this particular advertisement to be publicized by the media. Okay. Now, in deciding your advertisement package or advertisement process or program, okay, we can look at this major advertising decision. You may look at your objective, the budget, okay, and then the message decision, media decision, and lastly your advertising evaluation. So of course, objective could include whether you just want to communicate to them or is it for you to gain sales. Alright, and then when you look at the budget decision, like I already mentioned to you previously in the first part of this chapter, can you afford it, okay, based on, let's say, percentage of scales, or is it competitive parity, or is it objective and task, okay. Then you look at your message decision, okay, the strategy that you want to use, okay, either you want to use pull or your push strategy, all right, remember that. And then media decision, there are a lot of media types that you can make use, so you may want to think of their impact and also engagement of that media, the major media types, specific media vehicles, or even the media timing that you need to know when you want to send that particular message. And lastly, in advertising evaluation, you may want to look at the communication impact, sales and profit, or even return on the advertising. Okay. Now moving on to the second learning objective, to describe the major decision involved in developing an advertising program. Now, like I have mentioned in the graphical or the figure that I have showed just now, you want to set an objective to some specific objective, okay. Could be whether you want to get sales or you want to communicate awareness to the customers, okay. So you want to set first the objective, okay. It has to be very specific. In setting advertising objective, you can actually look into whether you want to use informative advertising, persuasive advertising, comparative, or a reminder advertising, okay. And informative advertising use when you want to introduce the product or the new product category to build your primary demand. This is basically to create awareness. Okay, while persuasive advertising is important with increased competition to build selective brand. That means you want to persuade customer to actually buy your brand. Or if let's say your advertising objective is actually to do comparison, to show that your brand is actually superior than your competitor's brand. So you can use comparative advertising. And a reminder advertising is typically done at the maturity level or the decline level of your product life cycle, which is important for you to maintain the customer relationship and keep customer think about your product. This is about reminder advertising. You can read through this table 15.1, the possible advertising objectives. So these are some of the examples. I will not go through one by one. Next, the factors to consider when you wanted to think about the budget of your advertising. You look at the stage of product life cycle. Of course, if it's at the introduction and you can see that there is a brighter chances or a bright future for this product, perhaps you may want to add more budget to this particular product advertising. But if let's say the product life cycle is already at the maturity or the declining stage, you may want to think of an advertising budget that is a little bit cheaper. Okay, and you want to see also your market share in the market, okay, of that product, and also your competitors. Okay, looking at the competition or rivalry of your competitors. Now, the advertising strategy is a strategy by which company establishes its advertising objective, and it consists of creating advertising message and selecting the advertising media. In creating an advertising message and brand content, you can look at this advertising clutter. Okay, today's consumers, they are armed with an arsenal of weapons that can choose what they want to watch and they don't want. Okay, and increasingly they are choosing not to watch advertisement. Okay, when you want to watch YouTube videos, for example, before you watch that particular video that you wanted to watch, there's an advertisement that you are forced to watch. Okay, some advertisement lasts for 3 seconds and you can click skip. Okay, you can't even wait to click that skip or tap on that skip button. But there are also some advertisement that are forced. That means you can't skip the advertisement, but you have to actually watch it until it finished. Then you can actually watch the clips or the video that you wanted to watch. So this is what it means by this advertising clutter. Now, in merging advertising and entertainment, okay, this Madison and Vine is actually an intersection of the Madison Avenue and Hollywood, which represent the merging of advertising and also entertainment. This is done in US lah, okay, where this is an example whereby the entertainment are very much about advertising, or advertising is part of actually an entertainment. While you can also have this native advertising whereby advertising or the other brand produce online content that looks in a form and function like the other natural content surrounding it on a web or even a social media platform. This is a typical what they call it is actually inside that particular story or content of the website itself. Okay, that is native advertising. For example, if you put in a website, that advertisement is actually part of the content of that particular website, so it looks like it blends together. Okay, or even let's say your Instagram feeds. Okay, so as you scroll your Instagram feeds, okay, you will see your friends posting whatever thing, picture and so on, and then suddenly there's another company that actually advertise their product. So it is like part of your news feed. So you are you know it is an advertisement because you can see that it is sponsored by. Okay, sponsored by Dyson, for example, or sponsored by Baskin Robbins, sponsored by Nike, and so on. So that is the advertisement done together with the content of that particular feed itself. So that is a native advertising. Next is message and content strategy. The first step in creating the effective advertising content is to plan a message strategy. Okay, so the general message that will be communicated to consumers, which you can also think of, let's say you want to give a message or the content that identify the consumer benefits, or you can actually follow from your company's broader positioning and customer value creation strategies. Now, a creative concept is a compelling big idea that will bring an advertising message strategy to life in a distinctive and memorable ways. Right? This is when you want them to always remember your advertisement and the product itself. Okay. Characteristics of this appeal should be meaningful, believable, and also distinctive. That means different than the others. When you do the message execution, this is when the advertiser turns the big idea into an actual ads execution. Ads is advertising execution lah, and that will capture the target market's attention and also interest. This includes, okay, you use the best approach, you have the style, tones, words, and so format that are for you to execute the message in a very creative manner. Okay. The styles can include like this lah, a slice of life, some lifestyle, a fantasy, mood or image, musical. This one is a lot been done here. Personality symbol, testimonial or endorsement, scientific evidence, and also technical expertise. This can be executed in different style or a combination of this. Okay. The message execution could also include the tone. Okay, is it a positive or negative tone? Tone here not necessarily just not the voice's tone, yeah, but rather how to say, the like a theme of it. You want to show a positive theme or you want to show a negative theme. Okay, but both will actually give same meaning in the way that it want to create the awareness, or you want to get you to actually do it or don't do it kind of thing. Okay, attention getting words kind of message, or using some format like illustration, a headline, or even a copy of it. Okay. Just look at this particular advertisement, for example. So you can see that perhaps they are using what I call illustration, okay, an illustration to capture people's attention. So what is this flower? Is this a flower or what? Okay, then you will be able to read further on all those small things so that you are able to know the whole message of this advertisement. Next is what I call the consumer generated content, which consumers submit ads, message, ideas, videos, and other brand content, which incorporates the voice of the customer into the brand messages and generate greater customer engagement. A very good example of this consumer generated content is actually Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks basically the advertisement that they use, yeah, if you realize on their news feeds of Starbucks on their Instagram or even their Insta story, yeah, they always repost customers' posts. Okay, so that that is part of their promotion, so that they don't even have to think of taking picture of their drinks, but rather than get other people to take picture of their drinks and then they put it in their story to be an advertisement. So that is actually consumer generated content. Okay. Next, in selecting an advertising media. Major steps in selecting the advertising media includes determining the reach, frequency, impact, and also engagement, choosing among the media types, selecting the media vehicles, and also media timing. Now, when you talk about reach, frequency, impact, and engagement, reach is about reaching the people. Okay, the measure of a percentage of people in the target market who are actually exposed to the advertisement campaign during a given period of time. Reachability here, okay? That means if I put in the magazine, how many units of the magazine are being published? Okay, let's say a magazine is being printed, okay, a printed magazine is being printed for 100,000 units. So in that 100,000 unit, meaning to say it will reach 100,000 market. All right, so there is a possibility that your target market will be exposed to the campaign or to the advertisement. Next is the frequency. This is how frequent the person will be exposed to the message. Impact is the qualitative value of the message exposure through a given medium. Okay, how does it impact you? If let's say it is a newspaper, then okay, you just flip the newspaper and then that's it. Okay, but let's say on the TV, for example, then when you watch a drama and then when there is an advertisement, then perhaps you will not watch that advertisement unless the advertisement is really how to say, distinctive, or it's so cool and you really want to watch that advertisement. Then the impact will be longer. Okay, that means you will retain to that particular advertisement by watching it until it ends. All right, and engagement includes a measure of things such as ratings, readership, listenership. Okay, this is for radio and also our podcast, and also click-through rates. That is when you can see how many people actually read your advertisement or click on your advertisement. Okay, that is the engagement. So these are the media types, okay, and both their advantages and limitation. This is very important. You should actually read through this all together, okay. The media advertising can be done including using TV, digital, mobile, and social media, newspapers. When you talk about newspaper, here is the physical newspaper, yeah, and then the direct mail, magazines, radio, and also the outdoors. Okay, outdoors advertisement includes, like I told you, like billboards, okay, on the road, right, even on a vehicle or on your bus, for example, okay, on the lorry, okay, or the billboard or a banner on the roundabout, LED panel, and so on. Okay, these are the outdoors. So in selecting the media vehicle, it involves decision presenting the message effectively and efficiently to the target customer, and must consider the message's impact, effectiveness, and also, of course, the cost of it. And in deciding on the timing, okay, the timing, you need to plan and consider seasonality. Okay, you don't promote Christmas cookies now, okay, because it's not even October, November yet. Okay, so seasonality is important according to the season, or even let's say in the countries where they have 4 seasons, yeah, the climates, yeah, talking about the winter, spring, autumn, and also summer. So now it's actually about summertime, isn't it? So spring and summer. Okay, so you wanted to promote products that is related to that season. Okay, that is a good timing. And then also pattern of the advertising, is it continuity, like scheduling and evenly give within a given period, or is it pulsing, which is you scheduling your advertising unevenly within a given period? Continuity is like consistently lah, okay. Pulsing is like you think like it's once a month. Let's say this month you do it once, next month perhaps because not much sales, perhaps you want to do twice or 3 times. Okay, that is pulsing unevenly within a given period. And in evaluating advertising effectiveness and return on advertising investment, you might want to look at the net return on advertising investment divided by the cost of advertising investment. Okay, so typically this one is also important for you to show, especially to the finance department, so that they understand that when they spend this amount of cost to advertise, okay, the return on that cost that has been spent is called the advertising investment lah, okay, will be worthwhile, okay, or viable, or is actually proportionate, so that you'll be able to earn more sales when you do the advertising. Of course, you also want to see the communication effects, which indicate whether the ads and also media are actually communicating the ad message well and can be tested before or after the ad has run. Okay, that means when you see the effect in a way that once you ask people to buy your product, or the advertisement is about buying your product, so you must be able to see the effect, which is people started to buy. Okay, or when you want to create awareness, for example, people start to query or ask more about more questions about the product. And the sales and profit effect, which compare past sales and also profits with the past expenditure through the experiments or that you have done. Let's say, okay, this month we don't do advertising. Okay, how much sales that we are earning? So let's say next month we do advertising, how much sales that we have earned? Okay, so when you do this sales and profit effect, then you'll be able to see that, okay, should you continue doing the advertisement or not? Another consideration includes organizing for advertising, like whether you want to use your advertising agency to create the advertisement, or you just use your in-house specialty or expertise to do the advertisement. Or when talking about the international advertising decision, should you use standardization or adaptation? Again, standardization, that means you advertise the whole world with the same advertisement, that is standard. Or adaptation, meaning to say you have to alter or change some elements of the advertisement to meet the certain countries' culture and also norms in that particular advertisement itself. Okay. Next, we move on to the third learning objective for this part, which we're going to go to public relation. Okay, we're going to define the role of public relation in the promotion mix. So this is the definition of public relation. Public relations involve, or PR, yeah, involves building good relations with companies' various publics by obtaining favorable publicity, building up a good corporate image, and handling or heading off unfavorable rumors, stories, and also events. So there are many activities can be done, okay, in public relations, like for example, press relations or press agency, which involve creation and also placing of newsworthy information to attract attention to a person, product, or service. So this press relation is basically to the media, yeah. Press are the media here, or the press agency, where you giving or telling them information about your product, your person, the persons in your organization or the service that you are doing in a form of a news. Okay, so that they will publish it or they will air it on their news channel. All right. Next is product publicity, which involve publicizing specific product. Okay, and public affairs, which involve building and maintaining national or local community relations. Next public relation activity is lobbying. Okay, lobbying involves building and maintaining relations with legislators and government officials to influence legislation and also regulation. This is when you do good, you have a good relationship, you are having, let's say, not really formal, but rather informal relationship, okay, by influencing the legislators or government official to the favor of your company in terms of rules and regulation and so on, right? Next is investor relations. From the word investor relation, that means with the investors lah, all right? Involves maintaining relationship with shareholders and others in the financial community. Okay, next is the development, okay, PR development, which involve public relation with donors or members of non-profit organizations to gain financial or volunteer supports. Okay, so this is related to the NGOs lah, basically. Now, the role and the impact of PR. Basically, public relation is actually cheaper than advertising. Okay, cheaper than advertising because basically you don't really have to pay for the, let's say, the news agencies, right, to actually write a story about your product or your organization as a news item. Okay, and it has a stronger impact on public awareness than advertising because it is been done by the third party. Okay, especially the news that are being published on the news channels, all right, and people normally believe the news rather than the advertisement itself, right? And it has a power to engage consumers and make them part of the brand story itself. And last part of this second part of the chapter 9 is explain how companies can use PR to communicate with their public. So there are actually 9, okay, public relation tools that can be used, like the news that I told you. So the news about your product or your organization is on Astro Awani website, for example. So as you know, Astro Awani is a platform of a news channel. So when people read there, people know it is actually something that is true, okay, true, that is been written not by the your organization, but rather by Astro Awani itself, okay. And then it can be using speeches, okay, that is been done by your CEO, the president of the company, and so on, when you do a special event. Okay, written materials like you have your own bulletin, okay, corporate identity materials like your own what they call merchandise, okay, there is the material of it. And then public service activities like when you do some charity program and so on, okay, buzz marketing. This is when you engage with, remember, your opinion leaders, okay, social networking, and also of course the internet itself, right? So with that, we finish the second part of this chapter on about advertising and also public relations. Tomorrow there will be another video for the third and also the fourth part of this chapter. Okay, thank you guys.